Hello. I'm not going to be before you very long because this video is not about me. This video is about Ron Valentine, aka Rondo. He is a recording artist, and here on YouTube he has a series entitled Surviving the Hood. It's a 13-part series. I thought that all of you would benefit from me stringing together those 13 videos into one video. He has a lot to say. He doesn't glorify life in the hood. As a matter of fact, one of the comments that he made that really stuck out in my mind is that real men do not glorify thug or drug life because they understand and know what it's all about. They know the pain and everything that is involved. And so why would they possibly glorify it? I've told people on many occasions that those people who are in the hood and into thug life or whatever, these people are for the most part relegated to it. They don't choose it. But then since they are in it, they must survive it and hopefully work toward getting out of it so that they don't have to spend all of their life in such circumstances. So, with that said, there's just one other thing that I need to explain that there are some expletives used throughout. It's not that much that is saturated with it. I mean, the message definitely comes across clear. But as Rondo and I spoke on the phone, there are some things relative to trying to keep it real when you're talking to black folk, especially inner city youth, wherein certain verbiage has to be used in order for people to even think upon you as someone who knows what you're talking about, who's been there, done that, and therefore can adequately speak to it in a way that will even make them listen. And so it just is what it is. So I hope that you all will listen with a discerning ear and truly understand what this young man has to say, because I think he has a wonderful and powerful message. So with that said, I'm going to step aside and let Rondo take the stage and tell you in his own words. Peace.
I was born in San Francisco, California, Fillmore District, 1970. My name is Ron Valentine. Hood name or artist name is Rondo. Growing up where I grew up, single mother, no father. My father was so-called pimp, dope fiend. My mother was, of course, into that lifestyle as well, you know. So I had an older sister, and from the time I could remember, it was always drama. Growing up, not having, or I should say, not seeing the appropriate things that a child should be seeing. So whereas you would grow up being hugged and loved and kissed and all these nice things, that wasn't my life. That wasn't how I grew up. I grew up on the complete opposite side. The mother, abusing the children because she was abused. The mother abusing drugs, alcohol, every form, that you want to think of is pretty much how I grew up. The verbal abuse, the physical abuse, not eating for days at a time sometimes, not having the appropriate clothes to go to school. It was all bad. Growing up like that, you know what I'm saying? When all you know is that type of environment, that becomes the norm. So where a lot of children wouldn't understand that type of lifestyle, I fully understood it. I knew what type of drugs they was doing. I knew how they did it because it was in my face, you know what I'm saying, on a daily, me and my sister. And it's a lot for a child when you start putting this in a child's brain at such an early age. That lifestyle becomes such a reality that you don't know nothing else outside of that. So, of course, I grew up with motherfuckers that sold dope, killers, gangsters, whatever you, all that negative shit is what I came up under. And Frisco, Frisco was a melting pot of all ethnicities. My mother being a white woman, you know what I'm saying, back then in the 60s, and you can imagine how she got dealt with, by the black dudes, because all she ever fucked with was black dudes anyway, black men. Or I can't even call these motherfuckers men, you know. But whatever the fuck they was, they definitely wasn't men. They used her to every degree, and we was products of that. You know, me, I was a product of, I guess, somebody fucking my mama. Here I am, my sister, same thing. It wasn't no love involved in that shit at all. You know, growing up, hating dope dealers because I knew what it did to my mother. You know what I mean? So I couldn't stand that shit. But, you know, like I said, if that's your environment, that's all you know. It come down to, am I gonna be hungry tonight? Am I gonna continue looking bummy, not having clothes, you know, no money in my pocket, or am I gonna do what's, you know, in front of me? The only thing I do know, and that's get out there and hustle. So the same shit I hated, I became a hustler from the street, straight up. For those who are watching, I ask that you leave me a question, something that you just may not know. But I guarantee you I'm gonna know the answer. And if I don't know it, I'm gonna find someone who does to come back to y'all with the appropriate answer. So leave your remarks, leave your questions on there, anything that's of a positive nature. Be proactive with this. I can't do shit by myself. So I'm asking y'all to help me help you and myself. Do that. Peace. Imagine being a little boy and nobody wants you. Not even your mama. You don't have a father. Don't nobody want that type of responsibility, because even the people that you around, they broke, they in the projects, they ain't got shit. So whatever they got, they trying to feed their children. So imagine you still a little kid, you a fragile mind, you still got understanding, you still, you know, you hearing, you understand things, you see, you're not stupid, you quick, you're witty. So you hear everything people saying about you, and you feel completely unwanted and like you banished, you know what I mean, like from the land. This is the type of scenario that will go on in a child's mind like that, because I was that child. You feel completely alone. You don't know what love is. You don't know what the next day gonna bring. It's just like you lost in space, waiting to be devoured by something. You don't know what, but you know it's something. That's the type of mind frame that when you don't feel the appropriate love from a parent or a family member, it'll spin you off into a whole different universe completely. And then that is the first time you open that door to that weird ass lifestyle, whatever you chose. It's that opened that door. Other than that, you wouldn't even know these doors exist. This door over here selling dope. This door over here raping females. This door over here fucking with kids. This door over here killing people. This door over here is, you know, you want to be the biggest dope dealer in the world. This door over here, crazy. This door over here is self-destructive. There's so many fucking doors are open, but none of that shit would take place. And you wouldn't know none of these doors existed had you had the right, you know, at the fragile time you had love, you had to know that somebody was around that cared about you. And that's what happens. That's exactly how you get spun off into a different universe, is not having the appropriate love and the guidance. So let's say, you know, as I grow up, you know, I become, of course, more cold-hearted, where I could do a crime and wouldn't feel shit. I can't feel nothing because I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. I don't feel love. I don't feel compassion. So if I don't know what that is, how can I show it? So if I'm robbing somebody, you know, say one of the homosexuals for example, I would hurt them men and have no remorse about it. It was just simply, you just a piece of meat to me, but you got something I want. It's some money, it's some ring on there, it's a watch, whatever the fuck you got, I'm taking. As cold as that is, that's exactly what it is. It's cold shit. You know, and it's no way in the world anybody could say it's right. Nobody. Well, whether it's right or not, at that time, or a specific point in your life, you don't give a fuck about what's right or what's wrong. That don't even hit your computer here. You know what I mean? Your mainframe don't know shit about why I'm supposed to have compassion if it hasn't been put here. You gotta have this in order to show it. You only know what you know. You know what I mean? So these are the things that, you know, I mean, so many examples. when you start getting even to the gun thing, it's not that every young black man want to grow up to be a killer or a gangster or a dope dealer. But if what you grow up in and under that circumstance justifies that, that's what you do. And the more you do it, the more barbaric and the more monstrous you become. With each crime you do, with each, negative thing that you carry out, you become bigger and bolder in that negative world. You become a beast with it. You don't fear shit. You don't fear no niggas, no police, none of these motherfuckers. You don't fear shit. It's whatever. And the colder that negative germ is in you, whatever that may be, and I was definitely the super negative germ, well, you don't fear shit. A lot of these dudes talk about, it's a lot of falsified living that these people try to glorify this dope game and this I'm a thug and I'm a gangster, all this stuff. Any real man won't ever glorify that. Won't ever glorify it. Because they understand what that's about. That's pure ignorance. Completely. Pure ignorance. But I was there, so I know what it's like to be tested. I know what it's like to be tested. And if you show weakness, they will destroy your ass. Straight up. So it's a catch-22. You struggling with, I can't be no bitch. I can't be no punk. This motherfucker talking shit about me. I'm about to go serve this dude. Whatever it may be. This is how it is. So outside looking in, we know it's fucked up. But when you in it, you don't know shit about that. All you know is what you've been taught, what you've seen your whole life up to that point. So it's just like watching a movie. If you watch the movie, you came in 3/4 of the way into the movie, you don't know what the fuck happened back there. You only gonna make a decision on what you seeing right here. Well, that's how people do every day. They don't know what goes on in these streets. They see TV, but that's Hollywood. They don't understand this shit is real. Super real. People die every damn day behind it. In Frisco, it's such a closed little knit. You know everybody. You know what I mean? And so back then the thing was, robberies, small little robberies, but it was arcade robberies. So they was using me. I was a little tiny dude. I was going back to the video games with the small little crowbar and another dude to help me break the back of the game. We take the quarters. So we was hitting all the video games. But since I was so small, I was the one going in the back of all the video games taking the money out. And they would have 4 or 5 people, around the game to where you couldn't hear me trying to break the shit. So that was my first little heist. I think I was 7 years old. But I'm walking out of there with $34 of quarters in my pocket. So I was a rich little kid at that time. I was eating, and they made sure I ate. That was the beginning of it. Then it, moved on to stealing out of stores. This is all shit just to get by, you know what I mean, at the time. Stealing food just to eat. Me and my sister got to eat. Then as I grew, a little older, by the time I was 10 years old, we was going to avenues, beating up little white boys and taking their bikes. By the time I was 15 years old, dope was cracking at that time. Crack was. And I was around it, got introduced, and became what I hated and despised, a dude that sold dope. I grew up seeing my mother do drugs, the dude she fucked with do drugs, and every dude that she came in contact with as far as any physical, that was the lifestyle. From heroin to sherm to cocaine to weed, any pills, uppers, downers, lubes, all that shit. It was so much of it, going down. Heroin was a big thing back then in the early 70s. So, it was times you walk in and see a dude laid out with needles in his arm, that motherfucker just died, overdosed. And that was like a normal fucking thing. He'd just be sitting there, laid out. So, when you get exposed to these type of things, it shapes your mind. So there's no way in the world somebody outside looking in will ever understand this. So that, of course, they cast these, illegitimate opinions about you, not knowing. They don't know really what goes on, but outside looking in, it's easy to, they look at the little white girl, got these little kids. They don't know shit what's really going on of how she was abused to even have me or my sister. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of obscurity that goes on with this, outside and inside. Having a white mother around nothing but black people, I gotta you know, how am I thinking that a woman's supposed to be treated? You supposed to slap her? You supposed to tell her shut the fuck up, bitch, get my food? That's what I know. You know what I'm saying? That I grew up like that. And then of course in return, I guess my mother would take the pain, her frustration and pain and whatever she was going through out on me because I was the boy or the man or whatever. So she get her ass whooped, I get my ass whooped. You know, she hated dudes, so I was a dude. So, you know, you don't understand at the time, you know what I mean? But these are the type of things that will shape your young mind to such a degree that anything that would fall, anything after, anything that you know, any lifestyle that you choose to delve into, it's all going to be negative because that's all you know. And at that point, there is no, you know, people say, oh, you knew you was doing wrong. You knew, nah, you really don't because it's not a choice. It ain't even no, if you don't got a fucking choice, how can you call it wrong? It's wrong all fucking day. But for somebody who don't know and that's living it, they don't see it that way. They see I'm trying to eat. You know, they see that this is the lifestyle. I don't know nothing else. We see TV, that shit ain't real to us. That's not, you know, they going through shit that they experience a different life that we've never experienced or understand. But on the same token, they don't understand our life. You know, and that broke life, that downtrodden, it's fucked up. You know what I mean? It's nothing good about it. You know, so being exposed, like I said, at that early in age, it will have your mind completely in self-destruct mode. Completely. Because everything you're doing, you against the law, you against the niggas in the hood, you against, you know, your own people. You can't trust nobody because it's all on some crab, bring another crab down type shit out the bucket. Like, everybody don't give a fuck about nobody. So if that's your surrounding, how you think that's going to make you, you know, what are you going to be? What is that going to produce in a man or a woman? What could that possibly produce? Can't be nothing good, I can tell you that. You ain't promised, nobody promised tomorrow, but you living in that lifestyle, your lifespan is very short. Very. So if you can make it out of that, and there ain't shit in this world that can fuck with you. Straight up. Nothing. So, you know, from the time I was young, this is what I knew. And as I, you know, 7, 8, 9, these years were years of homelessness, in and out of juvenile hall, detention centers, homeless shelters, women's abuse shelters, living here to here, this car, that car, you know, whoever, if my mama got a friend, we on her couch, 3 of us, it's just all fucked up. And that went on until I was 12 years old, to 11 and a half, till I left my mother. And the day I left my mother was the day that I snapped. I couldn't take the beatings no more, and I tried to kill my own mother with my hands. You know, and had it not been for my sister, I don't think my mother would be here right now. So I said all that to say, if I'm sitting here in front of you, and I'm not the man, you know, that I used to be, or boy I used to be, if I'm sitting here in front of you, I did something that was worthy of speaking on. So I'm asking everybody that would take a look at this, whether it's for a second or a minute, if you can gain something from it, leave a remark on YouTube. Give me a comment on YouTube. This is how the change comes about. It's men like me, women like, you know, some of the women I know who are in these streets trying to change people's life. You know what I mean? How can you change something if you don't have an example? So I'm just going to be an example. I ain't going nowhere. I have no intent on going nowhere. I'm going to be right back at you again. But I definitely want the response. I want to see who's listening. And if you really care, test yourself. Holler at me on that YouTube thing. Give me some comments. And you're going to see the response behind it. You'll know I'm talking to you. Peace. First and foremost, you got to have some type of self-respect. And when I say self-respect, I mean that you got to care about yourself. If don't no motherfucker on this planet care about you, you got to care about yourself. That's the first spark of life, or light. You can use that as light. And if you got to be your own light, then be your own light. You know, right now we ain't got no excuse. You can turn on a computer. You can always learn. There's always certain things you can do now to gain information where that wasn't really possible 20, 30 years ago. Well, now it is. Now children don't have no excuse for what they do, because now you can actually, same way I'm talking to y'all, it's, you know, I don't know how many people doing this, but I'm gonna do it because I feel it's necessary. that first step, you have to love yourself. You have to know it's something better than this, and you got to know that you're better than whatever your circumstances is, to a great degree. That is your first step. Look at self. If you don't want to live in the circumstances, I know it don't. I know it don't look like it's light. I already know, man. I've been there. You know, you you go to sleep with that thought on your mind. You wake up with it. The same shit day in day out. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Well, firstly, start doing good for yourself. Change the habits that would cause your demise. Change those habits. If you're selling dope, stop selling dope. Simple. Stop doing it. Because all you're doing is killing people. You never see the effect of what you're really doing. Or some do. You know, I definitely seen the effect of what I did, but some people don't see the effect. And if you know you wouldn't want to be in that position where nobody gave a fuck about you, then you should act accordingly. You wouldn't want nobody doing that shit to you, so don't do it to them. You got to understand, money can't be your God. You cannot put money over people. And that's what everybody do. Or I should say in that world. Because out of ignorance, they don't understand. So the first thing is love yourself. That's the first step. You got to. And by loving yourself is an action that you would do to prove that is not do things that's non-conducive to a lifestyle. Meaning that if you know gangsters don't live to be old, well, quit being a motherfucking gangster then. Who you trying to prove something to? It's always a motherfucker that'll put a bullet in your dome and set you down right where you stand. That's nothing. How many motherfuckers can you really kill? How many niggas can you really whoop? You think you know, everybody think they bad and they hard. Motherfucker, you're not hard. You're not bad. It's a bullet for your ass, believe me. It's one out there for you. Or a knife, you know what I'm saying? Or jail for the rest of your life. It's all that out there for you if that's what you want. It's a choice you got to make. At the end of the day, you got to make a choice. So this whole conversation with me to you is make a choice and make the right one. And the right choice would be care about yourself, firstly. There's nothing that's going to change in your life until you physically do a physical thing. Physical. It's all mental first. You have to first conceive that shit, you know what I'm saying? But then now you got to actually do something about it. You can't, oh, I prayed, and this shit didn't happen. Man, fuck out of here with that. You can pray till you blue in the face, ain't shit going to happen. I'm going to tell you that right now. You heard the saying, God helps the child that helps his own. Help yourself. You have to do something. Everything is, you know, cause and effect. Be proactive. You know what I mean? Do something positive. You know, people, it's so simple now. You know, hindsight, so simple now, life. But it wasn't simple when I didn't have a guide. Well, I'm a guide now. So now you have a guide. Now you can listen to what Rondo said and tap into that shit. Please tap into it. I'm a regular dude from the street, man. I ain't better than the bum on that street. That man got the same respect I would give your so-called president or pope or whoever, your bishop, whatever. They get the same respect to me. All men are equal to me. Just take that. If you just deal with that level of it, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna gain the respect. It ain't about how bad you are. Anybody with some sense know you ain't bad at all. You just one motherfucker. Period. I don't care how much money you think you got, or how big and buff you think you are, or how good you are with your hand. That's irrelevant. A motherfucker could creep on you, sleep you like that. Understand that. You know it. Y'all done seen death. About a multitude. I have. I got hundreds of people that I grew up with are dead right now. Hundreds. I ain't say 50. I said hundreds. Almost close to 300. How about that? And that's not no lie. Anybody that know me will vouch that. This is the type of streets I come from. I can recall back when I was in my teens, I never fully thought I'd make it to see 25 years old. And 25 was just a number I threw, but that's the number that was in my head at that time. I didn't think I'd see 25. I never thought I'd see 25. I didn't know what credit was till I was 30 years old. It's so much I did not know as a so-called adult that if I'm here right now explaining these things to you, you can bounce your own situation off mine. If I didn't know these things as a grown-ass adult, well, if it's one that, you know, can speak the way I speak now, and so confident, and with a righteous nature behind it, that means you can, better your circumstances. It's once you understand that, once I'll say this. In scripture it says you are not to be chastised if you know not what you do. But the one who does understand what they're doing is to be heavily chastised. So once you actually know information and you choose to utilize it for a negative, that's going to be your outcome, straight up. So if you know information that's a conducive thing, it's going to bring about positive results in your life. There is no in between. There's no gray area in life. It's either right or wrong. The gray area is for the masses. That's the masses. These are the followers that just don't want to use their brain, so they just get led. But in life, that ain't how creation is. It's extremes on both. It's either good or bad, positive, negative, dominant, recessive, up, down, left, right, hot, cold, liquid, solid. There's an opposite effect to every fucking thing in life. It don't matter what it is. There is no gray area, period. The gray is the lack of understanding. So I'm telling you, once you hear information that you know to be right, it's up to you to utilize the information that you know. Utilize it. I don't give a fuck if there's one thing you could take from anybody. If it's positive, use that. Let that be your foundation and build from there. Every day. Work on it. Tell yourself you're better than what you think you are. Tell yourself you could do it. It's how you talk. It's everything about it. We some fucked up people, man. Everything about us is negative. We don't give a fuck about nothing. Nothing. We see somebody die, we don't give a fuck. We keep it pushing. Your friend, your mama broke, we don't give a fuck. You don't help. You know you just got to check. You ain't say, here go $100. You ain't doing shit. We don't give a fuck. If that's the case, that's a sad way to be living. Straight up. It just is. So you got to change these things. And I don't care, baby step. Baby step your ass to heaven. I don't give a fuck. As long as you're taking a positive step forward, hey, I'm with you on that. But nigga, you start backtracking, can't fuck with you on that. That backtracking, that ain't gonna get you nowhere. And I don't even want. I'm more of a positive. I am a positive thinker, and I choose to think positive because I know what the negative brings. So once you know something, it's up to you to, take it and run with it, and impact somebody else for a better, a good set of events. Impact them in a right way, not a negative way. I ain't getting paid to do this shit, but I am getting paid to do this shit. And I don't even want to call it shit. I'm getting paid spiritually for myself. That's my reward. And I'm just hoping that, somebody listening to me, they can gain something from it. That's it, that's all. When you put in a position on the street and you're gonna be confronted by something, you know it's a feeling inside you that when you're about to get into it with somebody. It don't matter who it is. You know when it's about to be on. The second you get to that point where somebody may disrespect you, whatever, they gave you a wrong look, whatever, all that simple mindless bullshit that you're gonna feed into. That's the thing. Don't feed into it. It's just that simple. Meaning that instead of the mean look, try, stop fucking looking at people. Try that. You ain't gotta look at these dudes for what? What? Unless you're a female, what the fuck you looking at another man for anyway? And if you are looking at another man, give that man a compliment. What's up, brother? You looking good today, man. What's wrong with that? Instead of the hard ass tough guy look. That's the first step of loving yourself. Because you know what the outcome is if you let somebody pull you into that little circle. You know it's a wrap. Whether you can whoop his ass or not. Let's just say that's the dude with the bullet with your name on it. What if that's the dude, that one time? That dude got the bullet with your name on it. You did it right there. Because you didn't heed this advice. That's the first step. The second you know it don't feel right, make it feel right. Shut it down. Don't respond. Keep it pushing. Turn left when you should have went right, or turn right when you should have went left. Either way it is, it don't matter. That's the loving yourself. Because the second you put yourself at the mercy of the next stupid motherfucker on the street, you actually asking for it. You saying I'm a dumbass man. You know what I'm saying? I'm so weak, I let any motherfucker move me. That ain't strong, bruh. That's not strong. It's just not. So that's an example of what I'm saying as far as love yourself. If you don't love yourself, man, nobody will love you. That's on everything. If you're doing bad, nobody wants to be around a motherfucker doing bad. Nobody. Unless you're doing bad, unless you in that world. But you already know what that ends up. You in 6 feet deep on that pen. The police love that. Oh man, they love to catch young brothers out there on the street hustling and doing wrong and killing each other. That's their shit. They love it. So you just helping them put you where they want you to be. You know, yeah, it's a deep ass game. That's the first step I would say. You know, there's many different steps that you could actually take. Another one would simply be, we hear negativity all day long. You watch it on TV. Women good for that shit too. Watching all these little reality shows, talking shit about the next person's life, because they don't want to fuck with theirs. They don't want to look at how fucked up theirs is. That's why they do it. How is it that you can laugh at the next person's plight? A human being. But this is what they do. They make that shit the norm now. So, bang against that. Don't support that shit. Don't give negativity life. Don't even give it life. Somebody come around you talking that negative shit, man. I'm cool with the negative shit, man. I'm trying to have a good day on. That ain't for me. Well, however you gotta verbalize the shit, do it. But watch the response you get. Watch how much respect you get from that. Cause they know they gonna know, oh, this dude, yeah, you can't bring that shit around him. He ain't fucking with you. See, that's what I mean by being proactive. You got to do something about it. You can't just pray. You can't just, yeah, I want to do good. You can want all you fucking want to. But what are you going to do about it? What's your step? What's your action? So your action got to be simply making the right choice. And the right choice would be, don't give negative energy no life. 0. Somebody talking shit about the next dude, bruh, that ain't where I'm at right now, man. I'm not even getting caught up in that. Whatever it is. An argument, you don't got to argue. You tell the next person, bro, if we can't have a normal civilized talk, I got nothing to say. And I love you anyway. Kill them with that. You know, you heard the saying, kill them with kindness. It worked. Straight up. Another little tidbit that's useful. It's like being a carpenter, you know what I'm saying? Or construction work. You got many tools to get different jobs done. Or a scientist. You know what I'm saying? You got a beaker over here, a hot plate, whatever you got to do to cook up your formula to make you the better person, do it. Do it. You got to have many tools. Many. So it's many different ways. And that's what I'm here for, to give you a little road map how to get to these hoods of America. Because it's fucked up out there. They don't want to see you survive at all. And when I say they, I'm talking about the people that run this world. These negative motherfucking devils. They don't give a fuck about you. Straight up. And I ain't saying no devil, no spooky shit. I'm saying that the devil's intent of money mean more than your own life. That's what I'm talking about. They don't care about you. They care about money. And I'm on the opposite of that. I care about people more than money. How about that? The one thing I want to be real firm on is respect for life. You have to understand that everybody had some type of mother, father, friend, family member that you actually love and care about. And if you know that it would hurt you to a great degree if you lost that person, that same type of hurt that you would feel is the same type of hurt that mother, father, sister, brother, uncle, cousin would feel when they lose their people. You got to put it in perspective. Everything ain't about living in emotion, man. Emotion is simply a sensory that was given to us innately. Emotion is just simply a sensory to trigger a thought to make an action. Meaning that we have sensory, fingertips. We can feel things. Well, that feeling that gives us information to process certain things. We smell things. By smelling, we can process things and know, oh, that smells like chicken. Our eyes are for sight. We see things, we attach a certain name to whatever we're looking at. Emotion, the emotion, sensory is simply to make a decision. You can't live in emotion. So if somebody did an injustice to you, chalk it up. Chalk it up, man. It happens. Things happen. But for you to react on it negatively, there's that little thin line between understanding and lack of understanding. The lack of understanding would be you would react negatively to a situation that could impact your world, maybe forever, or maybe death will come from it. My last, I was 36 years old when I thought I was pretty good in understanding. I pride myself on having understanding, but yet and still I let this certain individual get the best of me. It was he was an idiot dude on the street that said some words, and I reacted to it. And behind reacting to it, they charged me with attempted murder, hate crime, and mayhem. I was facing 17 years behind a physical act that I did upon another man that imposed it on me. I didn't start it, but I didn't respond accordingly. So I put my life in jeopardy because I got emotionally distraught. Instead of just saying, fuck out of here with that shit, and I could have kept it pushing, but I didn't. I didn't end up doing 17 years because I'm here in front of y'all, but I lost all my money behind it. I was civilly sued. They took everything. I lost all my money. I went homeless, but that's the lesson I had to learn. So that emotion thing is critical. A lot of dudes say, oh, I ain't emotional. Well, you are. Dudes are more emotional than women, because a woman can be emotional and it's internal. A dude is emotional. We kill motherfuckers behind emotion. We kill families. We kill kids. We kill our wives. We kill other men behind emotion. Why else you killing them? It's emotion. So that emotion thing is key. You got to get on top of that. You know what I mean? You got to respect life. If you can respect life and not let emotion run you, you're going to be okay. But you got to be on top of that. It's one of the ones I'm stressing, because that in itself can be the catalyst for your ending, your demise. Take heed. My people are the downtrodden, the broke, the lonely, the broken families. My black brothers, my SA brothers, my white families. People, anybody going through a plight, a real motherfucking plight where this life is real, and you can't see no way out. That's my people. Those are my people. That's who I fuck with. You know what I mean? I really don't, people who got nice homes, and it's not that I don't care about them. They doing okay. They may not have it here, but I physically they gonna be okay. So I'm going after my people. So I'm here to tell you that the greater the plight, the more precious you are. The more shit you've been through, the greater understanding you will have. That's what you need to know. You didn't go through this shit for nothing. It's nothing. It looked like that and it feel like that right now. But would you agree that the same way you thought at 10, you didn't think at 15, and the same way you thought at 15, you didn't think at 20, you grow. That diamond ain't a diamond at first. That shit ain't a diamond at first. That shit is dirty ass charcoal until extreme pressure and heat get to it, and it produces something that's a precious stone and can't be broke. One of the hardest minerals in this world. You the diamond. You just a charcoal right now. You know what I'm saying? And you going through your purification process. That's all. What you going through, that negative, whatever you deem that negative to be, is just as important as your positive. Whatever you're going through negatively is just as important as the ice cream you had with your little sister, or the time you went to the movies, and said, whatever that positive, whatever that good light is in your life, that negative is just as important. That negative, you need to learn from, because that's your story. That's who you are. That's where you come from. That gives you understanding. That gives you a plight. That gives you a high degree of compassion. But you got to know that that's what it is. And that's what I'm here to tell you. The greater your plight, the more understanding you will have if you reach for it and learn and dig deep on it and try to take a negative and turn your negative into a positive. The negative is vital. It's necessary. We all got stories, man. Everybody got something that happened to them. But you can be the motherfucker that complain, or the person that got understanding with it. So when you recognize these signs in other people, you understand what they're going through. And it's your words that can change that man or that woman's life or that child's life, because they know it's coming from a righteous position, a compassionate spirit. And I don't mean no spooky shit. I'm talking about how you delivering the information to them. That's a spirit. They feel that. That's why when you say things, you can raise somebody's hair up on their arms or the back of their neck, whatever it may be. That's real information that travels in there. So what you're going through is for divine purpose. You just didn't know it. And I'm one who made it through that and is able to give it to you verbally so that you understand it. One thing you're going to learn about being real is real start with self. You can't look at nobody's situation and think you realer than them. First and foremost, you don't know what the fuck what happened to them. You don't know what their circumstances is. So who are you to think you're realer than that person? Until you gain understanding, to understand what truth is and what is real. Real is being honest to yourself. Firstly, honest to yourself. If you know you fucked up, you got to be honest with that. You can't mask your shit with your actions and your money because you lack the mental and the manhood you want to make up for it in money. You can't do that. I don't give a fuck what material possessions you own or whatever. That don't make you a real man or a real woman. You can't mask it. You go to sleep with that shit every day and you wake up with it every day. You have to be honest to yourself. Whatever that may be. I don't, it's many different forms and expressions that plays out through human being manifestation. But that's for you to determine. I'm telling you to be real with yourself. Test yourself. See how real you really are. See if you can knock that little punk ass habit, that cigarette smoke habit that you got, that cheating thing you got, that lying thing you got, whatever that is. Put that own discipline on yourself. See how real you are. Try that. Try being real with yourself. Look yourself in the mirror. Know who the fuck you really are. If you can do that, then you can look back in the mirror at yourself and say, you real. That's truth. I'm a truthful person. It all starts with self. Everything is got to be inward. Everything, no matter what that problem is, it's in self. It's within self. And truth is within self. But you have to be honest, firstly, to yourself and know where you lame at. These are things that once you break through these walls and these barriers, you going, one thing about yourself, you're going to be filled up with energy. Either it's negative up here or positive down here, or positive up here, negative down here. So the more negative you push out yourself, the more positive fills up yourself. So the more negative shit you keep knocking down out yourself, the more enlightened you become. The more spiritual you become, the more grounded, the more compassionate. All these great attributes will unlock itself once you go into self and kill off the negative things in you. We all know shit about ourselves that don't nobody know. Straight up. You know when you fucking up. You know when you cheating on your wife or your girl, and you know when you fucking over this other nigga when you with two other niggas. You know these things. They don't know. You playing these games. You know you getting this dude for his money. You don't give a fuck about him. And you know you don't give a fuck about her. But it's a use. You just using them. Be honest with yourself. Shut that shit down. I could be here all day talking about examples. That's not for me to tell you. That's for you to tell yourself. But that's a big part of growing up, is being truthful to yourself. What real is, you don't know what real is yet. But once you test yourself and come through it, then you can say you know what truth is and you know what real is. Test it. Maybe I know some shit. Just maybe. I thought I was a real dude. I thought I was one of the realest, actually, because I wasn't afraid of certain things. But that didn't really make me truthful, because I was just hiding shit inside. I wasn't letting nobody really know who I really was, how much hurt I had inside myself, until I addressed it. My main cancer for me was my mama. She didn't give a fuck about me, or so I thought, because her actions justified so that she didn't at that time. So I didn't give a fuck about her. So how can I say I'm real when I can't even attack my own demons, come at my own shit and rectify that? How can I say I'm real? So what I do, I left my mother at 11 years old. I'm 39 now. 5 years ago, I reached out to my mother and told her don't say shit. This is for me to tell you, and I don't need to hear nothing else from it. And I told her that I forgive her for everything she ever done to me. And then I told her I thank her for everything she's done. Not for what she did physically, but for what it produced in me. Because had she not been that woman toward me that way, I would have never got to this degree of understanding. So what I didn't understand at the time is I'm thinking I'm doing some shit for her, you know, taking this burden off of her of this hate thing, and it's, you know, it was really for both of us. Because once I did that, I was able to look at myself and say, boy, you a cold piece of work. You went at the shit you hated the most and dealt with it and embraced it. Now I love my mama. Love her. That's what I'm talking about. There's many things that was lame in me, but that's the one that I would share because it's meaningful. So how real are you if you can't be honest with yourself? You go to bed a liar, you wake up a liar. That ain't the way. Go to bed truthful and wake up honest. How about that? The smartest thing you could do when it comes to, you know, your friends or family, a lot of times these so-called dudes that you call your friends, they're not really your motherfucking friends, man. They only friends because of location. You would never choose for this motherfucker to be your homeboy if you wasn't in this, this predicament, this type of circumstance. But since you are, you settle with this motherfucker. Really, he ain't shit. And you know he ain't. You done seen him do wrong to other people. You see how he live his life. But, you know, this nigga next door to you, and you choose for this dude to be your homeboy. Well, you got to think wise, man. You got to be wise with that. If you see somebody else doing dirt to somebody else, what the fuck make you think they ain't going to do it to you at some point? Why? Why would that be logical to think he ain't going to test you? Why? Oh, that's your nigga. That's who you grew up with, huh? Let you get something he want. Whether female, car, anything that dude may be envious of. It'll come out. So I'm telling you to think wise about these decisions you make with so-called friends. It's not a good thing, man. You got to make the right decision. If people are doing wrong, that's because that's who they are. So why not choose a friend for somebody that's a good person? Not just because they're motherfuckers in your hood. That don't make you a friend. Even that go for your family. If your family fucking up, don't fuck with your family. Check them. Give them a chance to, rectify it. But you definitely got to bring it to their attention. Like, look, man, I don't like how you did this. You explain to me why this went down this way. That shit don't add up. Tell them that, you know what? I can't fuck with you until you grow out of that lifestyle. That's not where I'm at. You got to tell them that. Family too. It don't matter. Completely tear the cancer out of your life. You know what I mean? These are cancer cells. These people, it will grow in you and manifest and fester and grow until it absorbs your whole being. And when it does that, that's death. Because that weak motherfucker will have you murked, killed, put you in the wrong circumstance, your car getting shot up, everybody in the car died. Now you dead because you made the wrong decision with your friend. They lame on something. It's usually going to be money or females. These are two things in the hood. There's many a deaths that occurred behind it. So if you see if a dude lame as fuck on females, don't fuck with them. Don't fuck with them. You asking to get buried. You asking for drama. And if you see a woman that's on that bullshit, that negative, don't fuck with her. You know where she at. What? Cause she got ass. That's why. That's the precursor for you fucking with all this drama. Cause she got ass. Cause she suck a good dick. You gonna fuck with her cause she suck a good dick, but she got all this drama. The nigga, you don't know who she fuck with prior to you. Man, you got to be wise. You got to be wise. These are things that if you listen to me and take heed, you'll get through this bullshit. No doubt. No doubt. Remember, these words, I don't know you. I gain nothing from telling you this, but I gain everything. For me, I gain everything because I'm being honest and truthful to whoever may listen, to the world. If you choose not to listen, hey, I did my part. I'm gonna sleep good, no doubt. But I want you to listen. And if you apply what I'm telling you, you're gonna come out of this. You're gonna come out of that spiritually, mentally dead state. You will uproot yourself from that environment and get the fuck out of there and move somewhere where people love people. Or if you choose to stay there, make an impact on these people. Everybody can make an impact. Shit, if I can get out of there, and I was one of the coldest cats out there, you know, if I could do it, you could do it. So I'm doing my job. I don't run from the hood. I'm respected. It don't matter where the fuck I go. And do your due diligence on me, you'll find this out. It don't matter where I go. I'm not trying to be the tough dude. But it's things like, it's these acts like this of why I'm respected. From the most gangster ass niggas, killer ass niggas, to the most square ass niggas on this planet. I'm respected. So you want to be respected because you think you hard, or you want to be respected because you're a genuinely good person? Well, I'm a genuinely good person. I want to be respected for that. You do the same. The bitch gene is simply that negative part of a human being that runs the human being's self. You do bitch shit on a daily. You talk about your own friends, your own family. There's times you could help somebody, but you don't. You know your boy needed help with something, but you didn't want to let him know you had the money to help him. Instead of giving helpful advice when somebody comes to you with a problem, you antagonize them, making them, build them up to go hurt this dude or hurt that girl or go smoke this nigga. Instead of saying, look here, bro, don't feed into that bullshit. That's the bitch gene. You a bitch ass motherfucker to ever not help a situation when you know goddamn where you should be. This is in all of us. All of us. We all got the bitch gene to some degree. So I tell you, kill the bitch gene off first. That's the first gene to kill off. Kill off that negative part of you that you know where you lame at. We all know. When I say kill it off, I mean attack that shit. Stop doing, when you know it's wrong, don't do it completely. Kill that off first. That's the first thing I gotta tell you. Kill that bitch gene. That bitch gene is a bitch, straight up. My bitch gene in me was, it manifests different in different people. Some people are engulfed with the bitch gene. That's all they know, you know. Some people only got a little bit of it. I think I was one who had a little bit of it, but in the wrong. It was in a real crucial state. My bitch gene was in a real vital state, to being physical toward somebody else. That's the most vital, because you don't know who to do that's gonna put you down. So my bitch gene was, if somebody come to me with a problem, I don't dead the problem. I exacerbate it. Let's go handle this shit. That's how I did it. That was my bitch gene. Instead of talking them down, trying to get these two dudes to rectify their situation, the bitch came out of me. The bitch gene was in me to that degree. Fuck him. Fuck that nigga. Fuck that bitch. That's the bitch gene. Anytime you saying fuck that nigga, fuck him, that's the bitch gene. So now you tell me if you got the bitch gene in you. You do. All y'all got the bitch gene to some degree. Kill the bitch gene. These men, y'all, you gotta respect these women. You gotta respect it. If you don't respect these women, they're not gonna know how to show you respect. We all bang on the women so hard, you know, these bitches ain't shit. They ain't, I mean, to a degree, I agree. But I agree only because we ain't shit. That's why. They follow us, man. Only Hollywood got it inverted and fucked up to where women got a pussy on a pedestal. Man, fuck all that. They follow men. We they like. Straight up. None of these women want no weak ass man. But you can't bang on them and expect to get a positive outcome out of that, man. You got to show them how to be a woman. It take a man to show a woman how to be a woman. Straight up. But it take a man to teach a man how to be a man. You got to respect the women, man. you would never want your mother or grandmother or sister or auntie or whoever, any woman in your face, you don't want them disrespected. You'll actually go whoop a nigga ass over that. You'll go put him down by doing that. So why y'all do it? Why we do this? Why we treat the women so fucked up? So I'm saying this, male or female, if you a woman, get your shit together. Get your shit together. Learn what's right. Value the right things. Don't want it. At some point, you got to understand that you the first carrier of the life of that child. So it's pivotal that the woman know who she is and know what her worth is. But how can she get that way if the dudes ain't doing what they supposed to do? So it's a vicious cycle, you know what I mean? The dudes banging on the women, so the women banging on the dudes. Where that's gonna go? Nowhere. So men, be a man, stand up. Show that woman that you ain't like the rest of these niggas on the street. Let her see a real man. And it's gonna take some cleaning up, you know what I'm saying? Dust your motherfucking shoulders off. It's gonna take a lot of cleaning up. But she gonna recognize a real man when she see one. She definitely will. It's in her nature to do so. So start with that. Lead by example. Start being a man and watch how you attract a woman. And women, quit feeding into this bullshit. Quit feeding into the gossip. Quit bringing and talking bad about your own sister. Why do that? What's the gain from the negative? Nothing. Only negative. So learn how to be a woman, and you'll attract the right man. This is what has to be done at some point. You know, and I know it ain't our fault. You know, why are we so brainwashed and fucked up mentally? But once you know that, it's your responsibility to change it. You can't blame everything on TV or whoever the fuck you want to blame it on. You can blame, you can try if you want to, but what's the outcome of that? Blame, that's the outcome. Nothing positive is going to come from it. So, if you want a good man, be a good woman. If you want a good woman, be a good man. Watch what happens. This message is for basically the men out there, or the boys or young men. We can all agree that we know these, I call them holies, you know, the police, the law enforcement, whatever you want to call them, but they hoes to me. So I call them the holies. I'm not fucking with them on no level. I know the dirt that they do, the injustice that they do in these inner city rural, you know, hoods, the ghettos all across America. It ain't no different. They the biggest gang, and they work for the government. You got to be wise when you deal with these dudes. I can give you, you know, my scenario, and hopefully you can gain from that. When I was younger, I aggressed on these people. If they thought that they was bad, I proved to them that they wasn't bad. I felt good doing it to a degree, you know, hurting them. But I was always the one that got hurt in the long run. I just didn't get killed by them. They tried a few times, but it put me in jail behind assaults on these so-called officers. That all I was really doing was protecting myself. But you can't do it that way. You got to be thinking smart, because at any given time I could have been murdered. They could have killed me. You know, the wrong time, wrong place. They could have deaded me that day, but they didn't. But I know people who have been killed. I know a lot of people who've been killed by the police, actually. So I want y'all to be wise with them when dealing with them. The best thing I can say is stay out their presence. Just stay out their presence. If you see them, don't fuck with them. Don't say nothing to them. Don't act bad. You don't got to worry about none of that shit. I'm not saying don't be a man. If they, you know, I'm not saying don't be a man. There's certain things. If they're wrong, they need to know that they're wrong, no doubt. What I'm saying is don't look for shit. Don't look for shit. Not with them. It ain't no wins with it. Why go on that high-speed chase when that could cost your life when they catch you? When all it, what it could be, you know, you get a little ticket. You take that ticket, man. Fuck that ticket. It's nothing. But to respond in a way that could hurt you is not wise. You got to deal with these people on a different level. And hopefully you take what I'm telling you and apply it. You gotta outwit them. You gotta be smarter than them. They really stupid ass people, to be honest. A lot of them are stupid as shit. You know, they took them jobs because they was little, you know, for lack of a better word, little bitches. And they love their little authority thing that they think they got, you know. But for where I'm from, we put the police down straight up. The Bay, they pop the police. So all these niggas out here talking about how hard they is, they scared as fuck of the police, straight up. Well, where I'm from, they kill the police. They get shot at all day long in the Bay. I'm not saying do that, but what I am saying is stay clear of these fools. Show them, you know, show that you got respect for yourself when they talk to you. Don't let them know that you stupid as shit. Speak like you got some sense. Pull your motherfucking pants up. Don't do things that you know you ain't supposed to be doing in front of them anyway. That's just idiotic. Use your brain when you out on the streets, man. They want you dead. I don't want you dead, but they do. They want you dead, you know, almost as much as I want you alive. But I think I want you alive more than they want you dead. So I say this. I'm just saying that be wise when you deal with these people, man. You know, if you gotta bow down to a degree to go home to see your girl or your mama, or your wife, or whatever it may be, do that. It don't. You ain't proving shit to nobody. That's just one little punk ass peon in that little force that could fuck your whole world up if you allow it. So be wise when you're dealing with these fools. Please.